Hi, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Frank Discussions. This is a continuation of an episode that we posted on Wednesday, during which we talk about elections 2025 and the way forward. Abina, let's continue.
So going into Parliament now, we see a lot of new faces,
Yes.
and they are to be led by Terence Campbell.
The traditional opposition.
Or- Well, the 12. I see some people calling them the 12 disciples.
Okay.
The 12, they're going to be led by Terence Campbell. And oh gosh, some people dragging he's saying that he's the shadow opposition leader.
Does that have a negative connotation?
Yes, because that's not a thing.
Shadow opposition leader, not shadow cabinet.
Yes. So he's shadowing Mr.
I think that's a
Mohammed.
dragging of the APNU altogether for their performance in the election. But let's talk about our thoughts on the 12 disciples.
What are your thoughts?
So the people who have returned from the last parliament are Ganesh Mahipal, Sherrod Duncan, Joretta Fernandes, who was from the AFC, and so was Sherrod, Coretta McDonald, Nemo Flubes, and Vince Roy Jordan. So these people are returning. The new faces are Saiku Andrews, Dr. Dexter Todd, Riaz Rupnarine, and Terence Campbell, and of course, Dr. David Hines. So Dr. David Hines was not so successful in his quest to shore up support among the traditional supporters of the APNU. But I suppose there is something in his messaging and in the way he operates and his following that led Mr. Aubrey Norton to...
No, he said they said that it's because WPA ought to have a seat.
Okay.
So it's not about Hines itself, but for a representative in the APNU, which is the WPA, needed a seat.
Well, they didn't necessarily apply that reasoning to all the parties in the APNU
Which other
coalition.
party to get?
They have smaller parties.
Like what?
Hold on a second. Mr. Norton was asked during the press conference by the reporter from Starbuck News, it was, why is it that some of the smaller parties in the coalition
But
do
what
not
are
have a
those
member?
parties?
And he said that the consideration that drove them was ensuring that the best people are chosen to represent them in Parliament. And I'm prolonging the conversation because I can't quite remember who they are.
Good. So I don't think there are any other parties. It was really just is the WPA and the PNC.
Well, it is Mr. Aubrey Norton himself that said that they didn't represent all parties.
So everything Mr. Harvey Norton himself says is
He's the leader of the APNU, Abina.
okay. So you're suggesting that there may be other parties in APNU that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think I wanted you to touch on the lack of accountability that the APNU has, but we could do that after, hoping that in this new dispensation they don't do that. I find every time you point out something or everything comes out, they always say that it's because of this and it's because of the voters, and it's never we're lacking.
So importantly, I had asked Mr. Norton during that last press conference to talk about what he thought relative to the conduct of the opposition in the last 5 years was responsible for the significant loss that they experienced. And I know he talked about, every time a third party comes in, they lose votes. But I mean, what we experienced in 2025, it is extraordinary.
Right.
Because it is a new party that came out of nowhere and got such a significant showing, about
Never
25% of the
before.
votes. 25% of the votes. Brand new 3-month-old party, right? And of course, Mr. Norton has a lot to say about the credibility of the elections and the fairness. And there is credence to the things he's saying, but we need to have a nuanced and multifaceted conversation about what caused them to lose out so much. And Mr. Norton was able to point out many of those things that had nothing to do with him and the conduct of the party, but he wasn't able to say what of the conduct of the party. So what he did say was that it's important for them to do a review of all that happened, and at some point they're going to be able to understand what went wrong.
Oh, and he said the only thing he's going to make sure that is there's discipline.
Okay.
So maybe that's him admitting, tacit in that response, is him admitting that there was probably a lack of discipline before and accountability.
Yeah, and so what I want to point out is when the PPP, for example, lost the election in 2015, we saw some months after that 𝐷𝐷, who came up as opposition leader, he said that the reason that the PPP lost was because they became arrogant, they became complacent, and one of the things he also said was that they have not been as welcoming of Black people as they should be, and so they want to make that effort to be more welcoming and to be more of a truly multi-ethnic party. So, I mean, that kind of humility started the PPP on the road to rebuilding so they could win the next election. Are we going to see that kind of thing from the APNU now that they have fallen so far?
Are you gonna ask me?
No, I'm putting the question out there because Mr. Norton is going to lead a review of what went wrong, and we're going to wait to see what they say.
Okay. So we could get back on track now, probably, with these members of parliament.
No problem.
Even though some people are saying Ganesh is my friend, right? Me and Ganesh is no friends. But we carried a story over the weekend with Ganesh, speaking about how he views being led by Dr. Campbell now, being that he is the one being deemed with much more experience. And, he was vice presidential candidate, but yet he's nothing. And the humility and commitment that this man displayed in his response is to be admired. And I don't know if it's that he has a narrative and he just makes sure that he operates at all times within this narrative, or if it's really that he's really just committed to the cause of the PNC. Because when so many people left, when there was this great exodus, and
From the APNU.
from the PNC, Amanda Figi, Figuera, and all the other people.
Gita.
So many people who left, I can't remember. But when there was this big leaving trend, I did an interview with him, and he said that he told them, even if you do not like 𝐷𝐷 Norton, he's the leader for now.
Yeah.
You just support him and wait until his time is up. And what would happen if now you go to the PPP now under this person's leadership, and then what you can do, leave the PPP when somebody else comes that you don't like? So he is showing a commitment to that sort of reasoning when he's saying that the party choose Terence Campbell to be the lead person in Parliament, and I am going to do my best to support him. So I'm happy that Ganesh made his way back into Parliament, because I think, and I've been to so many sittings in the National Assembly when the opposition benches were empty. And one of the few people there used to consistently be Gita Chandan, Fort Guyana lady,
Amanda Walton this year.
Ganesh, Mahipal, and with this man named Ramchatan. So I'm happy, basically, that a few of the ones who were committed made their way back. And for the people who are new, I hope they understand I hope they understand the importance of working hard and being committed to the parliamentary work.
Even though it seems like you're going to be on the losing side for some time, because it seems like that's part of the reason why the people who defected to the PPP went, because there's more fortune there.
Yes. I hope that they're motivated enough. My father told me the story of his brother. When he was going to school and he brought last in the class. And everybody teased him, done the head, you this, you know, dancify goat and these things, you know how children are. And it pushed him to the point that the very next term, he topped the class. So I hope that they understand that this setback doesn't mean that you have to treat your work as if it's not important. You can work hard. We don't know what going to be the results, but if you work hard, you can move forward.
So a bit important to the nuance in a conversation about defectors is the question of Amanda Walton, because she didn't defect to the PPP. When she announced her resignation from the APNU, some people were surprised and curious because she probably didn't seem like one of the people who was going to defect. You know, there were questions about Gita Chandan and
The
Jeremy
signs were
Figuera.
there. Yeah.
The signs seemed to be there and there were whispers. But Amansa was not one of those people. And so when she defected, she decided to start her own movement. And she took on some of the people who had started their own party, like VPAC, and they got their movement together. And in a very short time, they were able to organize sufficiently to get on the ballot.
They did well, actually.
That was impressive.
I mean, not win well, like not Azadin Mohammed well, but they did well in that, much better than the AFC, a well-established party.
She was able to come in and perform so well compared to the AFC. And there was a point when we were tabulating, we were looking at the performance of Simona Broom's party, the ALP, then the AFC and Forward Guyana, and we thought, and I was saying it, that it didn't seem as though any of them would get a seat.
Yes.
And then she came and she managed to get a seat.
Where was her strong area?
I'm sorry?
Her strong area, Georgetown.
Well, it seems like that was the place that she got the most votes. And that's because that's where we're from, where she's from, and was able to do a lot of her campaigning. And that's impressive because now it gives her a foothold independently to be able to stoke her own movement. So I wouldn't be surprised if when we go into the next election, she is able to increase her footing in Parliament by getting maybe another seat or something.
I would hope so, because usually what you see with these new parties, they come around election, and as soon as election done, you disappear, you don't hear none from them.
Well, that's because they don't get seats.
Yeah, but so they had the joiner in the last Parliament came out. They had seats. I mean, they had to share it, but even at that time, they didn't maintain the party. So by the time you came around, a lot of them disappeared. So the joiner, Lennox, he spent how many years in Parliament, and his party is over with. You had Ruel Johnson's party. He wasn't part of the joiner,
The new
but
movement.
disappeared. Anog, well, they held on. What was the other party in the joiner? Oh, this lady, Miss I Would Not Be Moved.
No, the Citizenship Initiative was not a part of the joinder. They just did not perform well enough. No, they ran as a separate entity. But I think what happened with the joinder is extraordinary.
What? The Citizenship Initiative. Oh, you mean Ruel? Ruel's party?
It was Rhonda Lamb who was the presidential candidate of the Citizenship
Right.
Initiative.
I wasn't saying that they were part of the joint. I was just saying that it was a new party that disappeared after the election.
And that's because they didn't get
The seat, right?
the support. But what I'm saying is that it was an extraordinary situation with the joinder because of the betrayal that happened, and that is what caused them to fall apart. For example, the person who was at the forefront of the new movement was Asha Kissoon. And Asha Kissoon betrayed her word and decided to stay in a seat that she had previously committed to vacate. And this caused a breakdown in the relationships between the parties. The people who were still members of the new movement but did not support Asha Kissoon's behavior went to join Anog.
Oh, okay.
And then Schumann, based on his own motivations, decided to go and join with the PPP. But Anog was going to run by itself up until it observed that the Win party had an excitement that it wanted to be a part of.
Did you check the list of those who are going to Parliament from Win?
Yes, I have it in front of me here.
Anybody from ANOC?
So, okay, we have Don Hastings, Tabitha Sarabu-Halley, and Natasha Singh Lewis, all ex-APNU coalition people. Odessa Primus, Mr. Asruddin Mohammed himself, and there are some other persons
We don't know who they are.
who we don't know who they are, but I don't think that any of these people were members of ANOG. The leader of ANOG was Mr. Mark France, who notably is not on this list of 12, which is surprising.
Not 12.
List of 16.
Good.
Yes.
You can get through. Oh my God.
So the leader of ANOG did
Ruel
not
is
get
going
on.
to have a field day with this one.
Right. So like I said, I think Amanza is going to have an opportunity to build because she's independent now. She doesn't have to, like the last time, stick to, the requirement to have a cohesive message from the previous party that she was in. So she has her independence.
They had a cohesive message.
She has the opportunity to be independent, and she's going to be able to do a lot more with that, I suppose. Yes, I do think that the APNU had somewhat of a cohesive message in that they determined what were the issues they believed the PPP was weak on, things like corruption, things like the quality of public infrastructure.
This is not debate format because I would have eat your pay.
No, but when you look at the statements that were made by the APNU, the PNC, and the AFC, and their statements, as well as the things they said over the years in Parliament, they consistently talked about what they believed to be corruption, what they believed to be wastage of public spending.
I'm sure Amanda will still speak about those things. Corruption, wasted of public spending, and the things that are glaring things to speak of. But when they spoke in the National Assembly, you would hear one member getting up to say the glass is half empty, and the other one can say the glass is full to the rim. On the same budget, you see, when they debate in budget. So I don't think they were cohesive in the message, but that's negligible at this point.
Okay, I understand. Because I do remember one time they were in Parliament and they were having they were deciding on the amendment to the law to remove the cross-dressing law, right? This was after the CCJ had struck down the law that banned cross-dressing. And one of the MPs on the APNU side went into the Parliament and she argued on the basis of her sincerely held beliefs. She did not support things like, homosexuality and being gender non-normative.
Can't remember. It's fine. If you cannot remember, it's fine. But
yeah, and so there were cases where when the APNU and the AFC went to Parliament, they did vote and operate based on their own conscience.
I hope they fix that this time, though, and they get the troops in line. Because really, you're not there in representation of yourself. You're there to carry the party line. So there should be none of that.
I think it's important to talk about the kind of opposition that we expect WIN to be going forward.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
And I think what Mr. Mohammed has going for him now is that he has the excitement of the people and people want to see what he's going to do. Potential weakness is that he may not know how to speak in the way that these traditional politicians know how to speak. But
the shouting down.
No,
thing?
not the shouting down. But we've seen him be not as eloquent. But that's something that with experience you build your ability to do that, right?
Yes.
And we've seen that from time to time with many people who just get into the political realm and they have to use their voice. They learn.
Yeah, of course. I expect him to learn. But imagine how fun Parliament would be. I don't anticipate missing a session because it's if they bring the steam and then I imagine it's going to be a whole showcasing of Azadin's financial prowess and how he arrives at Parliament. Imagine seeing a Lamborghini pulling up to Parliament, and then we're going to have Odessa Primus, who is a comedian, so her delivery should be something to behold, right?
It is going to be interesting how people perceive those things, because when you look at how people treat with conventional politicians, they may scorn that kind of show of excess.
But his people like that. I think that's one of his strengths.
So
That
that's
people like. So I think people usually scorn the show of excess when they think that you took it from the public purse. Well, when they think,
when they accuse PPP or APNU of taking it from the public purse.
yes, not true evasions or whatever. If you actually involving corruption, government corruption, so that's why they scorn that. But if you have your own money, then I don't see it just being a problem.
So here's the thing. People have taken issue with the PPP and the APNU in cases where sometimes they felt as though they're not giving enough answers about the things people want to know. And in that vein, the way that Mohammed and his party has operated up until now, they have been able to evade that expectation. But when you are a politician who is benefiting from the public purse, you have to operate differently. As a politician, you're expected to be more transparent. You're expected to be more forthcoming.
Then they will have to sign up to the Integrity Commission now.
And declare your earnings.
Right.
And so, I mean, Mr. Mohammed, for one, he's going to take a certain amount of time to build relationships with the press and be a bit more open. Some people are not. So let's see the kind of opposition leader that he's going to be in that regard. And with respect to declaring your assets, let's see how that's going to go down.
Right. That's a good point. Declaring your assets. And of course, it will be interesting to see. He had said that if he becomes president, he would not take a salary. So it will be interesting to see if he will take his salary as opposition leader. And if he does, how will that be paid? Would it be cash in hand? Because the whole bank system thing. So we're in for a very interesting ride.
Absolutely.
Under the new dispensation.
In for a very interesting ride and a lot of uncertainty.
Right.
Okay, so there you have it, folks. That was a discussion that we had on elections 2025 and what's going to happen in the future with respect to the political arena and the parliament. There's a lot of uncertainty with new actors in the mix, with traditional actors being either cast down or gaining more power. And with the new arena, there's going to be a lot of curiosity and excitement about how politicians behave, given the adjustments in their position. And we're going to keep following it and have more discussions about that with you. So join us next time on Frank Discussions.